Good day everybody, it's Corey again here with another PHP Runner tutorial. Today we are going to continue our journey in the page designer and are going to work with additional pages. So now what is an additional page? Additional page is simply a copy of any of your pages. So in PHP Runner 10 you can make a copy of your list page, your view page or your edit page, and your copied page is referred to as the additional page. So from the comments, I received so far a couple of questions. Things like the edit control width on your add and your edit pages, the list page column width, and also how to switch back to the basic grid. Now I'm going to try and slip those questions and answer them in this tutorial as well, because they don't require an entire tutorial. It's a quick thing to show. And then I received a very interesting question from Steve Lewis. He would like to see two list pages showing the table info with two different sets of fields with two different where clauses. Now Steve, this is coming up right after this. First of all, I'm going to thank Xlinesoft for this amazing piece of software. Please go and visit their website. As you can see, professional web applications with little or no coding, and that is the truth. Thank you very much, Xlinesoft, for this amazing software. Right, let's start straight away. I'm going to show you my screen. As you can see, I already opened up the project. I'm on the page designer and the list page is in focus. First, I'm going to go to the edit page. I'm simply going to go and select the page, make sure it's selected. Then on my right hand side, there's a button called copy page. I'm going to click on that. And now you will notice that I have two edit pages. So this one is my additional page and the one was my original page. Okay, so my additional page, I'm going to make some changes to it. Remember this tab control that we have here at the bottom. For the second edit page, I'm going to remove this. And there's a little button over here. Remember, I clicked on the frame. It's selected. It's in focus now. So I'm going to remove that. Now all the fields that were in that control is now at the bottom here. So I'm quickly going to demonstrate a merge. I'm going to select on the stop cell that you can see, that's that light green currently now. I want to merge it back into this cell over here. And there is my merge on the right hand side of my screen. There's my merge options. Where I am right now, I have only one available option, and that is merge right. Once I click it, it's actually going to merge those fields together again. And then when I merge down, it will merge all of them into one as well. So now I have one cell all merged. Okay, and my first edit control is still the way it was, and I have my second edit control. This is just to make a difference between the two edit pages for now. Now I want to answer one of the questions, is how to set the edit control width. I'm going to do it on job title. So I simply click on it. So now on the right hand side of the screen is there's a field settings button over here. It says separate. So this is going to separate the labels and the controls. Take note what's happening here. If I click this, you will now see that we have job title and then a tooltip. I'll also receive questions about the tooltip. This is where you will set this. So on job title, we have a font size. That's not what I want to do. And on the second one here, I have a width. So if you click the question mark next to it here, right at the end, it's very important. It tells you what this field can accept. So I clicked it. And it says specify dimensions in any CSS complaint units. So and then they give you a couple of examples over here. So I'm just going to make this one 250 px, which means 250 pixels. Okay, and then when my field settings now has a button called join, and I can join the fields back together. So it's 1 again. That operation unfortunately made these extra cells, and if I don't want that, I will just have to merge it again, like such. Since I have 2 edit pages, how do we refer to these pages? So you would go to your list page. It's currently showing the basic grid. I'm going to need the advanced grid for this one. So I'm going to click on advanced grid button over here, and there is my edit control. Once I click on this edit control, because there is 2 edit pages up here, on the right hand side of the screen, I have a page setting over here, and you can tell it which edit page do you want this button to open up. Is it edit or edit 1? So just to demonstrate the difference between 2 pages, I'm going to make a copy of this edit control. I put it in focus by clicking on it, and I am going to create a copy. On the right hand side of my screen, if you can follow my mouse, it says create copy. I create a copy of it. Now I have 2 edit controls. That one at the view control, and then another edit control. Just to make a nice difference between the 2 edit controls, I'm going to change the icon on this one, on my second one. So I'm going to put it in focus by clicking on it. And on the right hand side of the screen, I have icon. So if I click this 3-dotted little button here, it will pop up a little screen where we can then go and select an icon. Now I'm just randomly just going to select something here now. I'm just going to use that I. So that is my second edit control, and this is my first edit control. So on the first one, I want to make sure that it's going to open up page edit. The second one, I want to make sure that it's going to open up page edit 1. So this I will open up edit 1, and the pencil will open up the normal edit. So let's publish this thing and see what it does. Okay, publish is finished. I'm going to open up the... Okay, so this is what the list page looked like before. You will see there's only one edit control, which is the pencil, and then my view. I'm going to refresh the page, and there the little eye appears now. So if I edit on the pencil, which is the normal edit control, you will see this is my first edit page where this tab control is still present. If I go back to list and now click on the second one, the one that we just created, it refers to my second edit page. And as you can see, the width of that thing of 250 pixels was really not enough. I want it to be bigger. So yeah, you can go back and play with this value to make it bigger. Okay, so that was now nice and easy for the edit page, and the add page will be similar view page. And I'm going to do my best now to try and answer Steve's question on the actual list page. So let's quickly go and go back to the designer page. While I'm here, I'm going to answer a question: how do you switch this thing back to the basic grid? Okay, on the list page you can see it's in advanced grid mode. So on the right hand side of the screen again, you have a grid type section over here. Yeah, and then there's a change button there. Once you click on this change button, you will get an pop-up, and it asks you what grid type do you want to see. And I'm just going to select simple horizontal grid over here and change it. As simple as that. And now we are back to the basic grid view of the list page. Okay, let's make a copy of the list page. Similar way we did it with the edit page. We're going to make sure the list page is selected, and we're going to simply click on copy here on the right hand side of the screen. Now I have list and list 1. They look exactly the same. If you look at the list page of the actual website, you will see this web page has got the last 3 columns is actually empty. So it's a web page, the notes and attachments. I'm going to remove those last 3 columns on my second list page, so we can see the difference in terms of columns at least. To do that, I'm going to go to my PHP runner, and we are going to say attachments. Now if I select attachments, I can easily just remove it, and we can remove them one by one like that. Or we can click on attachment, hold control down to control on your keyboard, and select notes and select web pages. Now I selected all 3 of them, and when I remove now, I will remove all 3 of them. Now list page still has web page, notes and attachment, and list 1 doesn't have it anymore. So in terms of columns, this is going to be our difference. So another question I want to try and answer at this point is, how do you change the list page column width? We are busy working with a list page. It is the second list page, the one that we copied, and we are going to go and put it back in advanced grid. Now job title is the column that we want a little bit wider. So this column, again, by clicking control, I don't really know if this is necessary, but it just makes sense in my head. I click control and I make sure that I select the entire column right through. Now on my right hand side of the page, I have a width, and there's my question mark again, and it tells you more or less the same story. What is it that we can put in here? And I'm just going to make it 350 px. So let's put this one online and see how this looks now. So this is my list page. How do I now switch between pages? So I want to take you to the URL. Okay, so now if you look at the URL, there I will have to set it something like this. I would say question mark page equals to, oh, it's bringing it up already because I've been here before, list. So this is my normal list page, and if I put list 1 in the URL, page equals list 1, we're gonna get to my second list page. Now notice, the second list page, the one that we actually copied, doesn't have those, the last column in this view is country. And the job title is much wider. And if I go to list, there is the first list page where job title is not as wide, and the last 3 columns still there. So I just manually reference these 2 different list pages by changing the URL, but you can now go and create in the menu editor buttons for these 2 different list pages. So Steve, we are halfway through your question. The only thing that's left over now is to show you how to actually reduce the records. What I'm about to show you now, I did not find in the help file or anywhere. I was just figuring it out myself. And I will log a ticket with XLineSoft coming next week just to double check with them if this way is acceptable or not. But let me show you what I came up with. Basically finished with the designer page at this point. We have list page and list page 1. Now because I showed you we have a parameter in the URL, page equals list or page equals list 1. That is what I'm going to use. So in PHP Runner, I will move on to the events page. Now, since there are actually 2 different list pages, we only have 1 set of events for that list page. I went to my list page before process. I'm going to use the get session variable. That variable is a PHP variable that reads straight from the URL, and it will contain list or list 1. Then I set the following. If is set get page, which basically saying if this value is set, then do the following between these two brackets. If it's not set, don't do this. So this code that I'm about to put in here on line 5 is only going to get executed once the condition of this if is true. I then say if the get variable compares to list, then I set a session where I say my session list page equals to 1. Else, if get page compares to list 1, then session list page compares to or equals to 2. And just to make 100% sure that we do not carry any previous values over from the session list page, I will reset that session variable by unset it every time when the list page gets executed. So if you have any questions on this piece of code, please don't hesitate to ask me. I will try and explain better, but I have to move on. Now you can go to the list page before SQL query. Just for the purpose of this tutorial, I am going to assume that we want to see all the records on the first list page, but for the second list page, we only want to see records for company A. So what I've done here is I said if session list page compares to 2, execute string where clause equals company A. So let's publish this thing and see how it works. So remember we said when it's the first list page, when page equals list, we refresh that, and that is showing me all the records. But once I made this page equals list equals 1, we now only have records where company name equals 1 or company A. If I go back to the normal list, it shows them all. If I go back to the list 1, like magic. Hopefully this was helping somebody. Please comment. I want to hear from you. If there's anything I was unclear, please ask me. I will try and explain again. If you have different questions, please ask them. But thanks for watching. Until next time.